In this video, we are going to discuss about the group by functionality of Java 8. So this group by is basically a SQL operation. Okay, so it is basically used in the scenario. Suppose we are having one employee table, and inside this table there are so many records. Now we want to find out the employee who are having the same age, like right. So we want to group by the employees based upon their age. So that is where we use this group by. So now with the help of Stream API of Java 8, we can use this in Java also. Okay. So now we will see how we can use this group by in Java 8. Okay. So we will, to explain this, we will move on to the Spring Tool suite. So I have created one class employee and I have added three variables. One is name, ID and age. Okay. And I have created one class named group by. So in this group by class, I have created one list of this employee and I have added some dummy records. Okay. Now the use of this is group by is like, suppose we want to group all the employees who are having same age. Okay. So this is the one of the most important interview question. Okay. Group all the employee who are having same age. So inside this, we are going to use this grouping by functionality. Okay. So how we can use this? So we are going to use this employee. Okay, and we are going to use the stream API of Java 8. Inside this stream API, we have this collect. This collect is basically an operation. This is basically called the terminate operation. Okay, and inside this collect, we are going to use the collectors. So this collectors is basically a class which is present in the stream API. Okay, and this collectors is having one method called grouping by. Okay, so this grouping by takes one argument, that is function interface. Okay, now we want to group it based upon the age, right. So we will use here lambda expression age dot get age, because we want to group it based upon the age, right. So this is how we can use the grouping by functionality which was there in the SQL, like grouping by SQL operation, right. So this is how we can use this grouping by of SQL operation in Java also. Okay, so this will return you a list, this will return you a map. So map basically has two things, right? One is key and value. So in this case, the key is going to be the integer because we want to group it based upon the age, right? And the value is going to be the list of employee because this will return you the list of employee, correct? So now here it will be map integer and list of employees, right? So we will name it as group by age. Okay. Oh, sorry. So we will name it as group by age. Okay, now we will try to print it group by age. Okay, now let's run the program. If you see, like this is the age of the employee, right? 32. We were having three arguments, right? 32 is the age of the employee and it is returning only one value. That is only, there is only one employee who is having age 32. Okay, similarly, if we see this 30, okay, age is 30 and there are three employee object inside this, right? Where it is gone? Yeah, here it is, 30, and there are three employee object. One is Praveen, second is Giri, and third is Ankur. Okay, now there are some overloaded method of grouping by. So first is grouping by function, which will take function as an argument. We have just seen it. Okay. The second overloaded method is which will take two arguments. One is function and another is collector, which is an interface. Okay, so now we will see this, like what is the how we can use it. Okay, now consider a scenario like we want to group name of the employee who are having same age. Here we just want the name of the employee. Okay, so to solve this particular problem, we will use the second overloaded method of this grouping by. Okay, so now we will use again employee dot stream dot collect. Okay, I have told you collect is the terminate operation. Okay, now we want to use here collectors dot grouping by. Okay, we want to use the second overloaded method, right? If you see, it is taking two arguments. One is function, which is a function interface. Second is the collector, which is an interface. Okay, so now again we want to group it based upon the age, right? So we will use here age age dot get age. We are using the lambda expression, right? The second argument is basically the collector. We have seen, right? Collector is basically an interface. Okay, so here we will use collectors. We are using the collectors implementation class of this collector interface. Okay, I will show you. So here we will use collectors dot mapping, and we want to sort it based upon the only name, right? We want only name. So here we will use employee method referencing get name, and we want it back in the form of a list. Okay, collectors dot to list. Okay, so now this is how we can use. Okay, now we will see this grouping by. If you see, it takes two arguments. One is the function, which is the function interface. Second is the collector, which is the interface. Okay, so this collector interface, we are using collectors class. Here we have used the collectors class, which is the implementation of that collector interface. Okay, so now this will return a map which will have two this is going to return map, right? The key of that map is going to be the integer, because we are sorting based upon the age, right? And the value here will be the list of string, because we just need the name, not the whole object, right? For that, for just needing the name, we have done this thing, right? So we will use here, okay, map, key is integer, value is list of string, right? And we will name it as group age, group by age, and name, and name. We are just taking the and. So we have given some random name to this. Okay, now we will try to print it and we will see what exactly we get. Group by name. Okay, now let's run the program. Okay, if you see, now we are just getting the name, not the whole employee object. If you see this age 30, we are getting three names, like, right? One is Praveen, Giri, and then Ankur. Okay, so this was about the second overloaded method of grouping by. Now we will see the third overloaded method. That is, it takes three arguments. One is function, function interface, supplier function interface, and then it's a collector, which is an interface, right? Now consider a scenario. We want the name of the employee who are having same age, but the result should be in order. Okay. So in this case, again, we will use the employee dot stream dot collect. Okay. And we are going to use the collectors class and collectors class grouping by method, and we want to use the third overloaded method, right? If you take, it is taking three arguments. One is function, function interface, supplier function interface, and collector interface, right? So now we want to sort, we want to group based upon the age, then it should be same lambda expression age dot get age, right? Second one we will see, second argument we will see later. Now we will move on to the third argument. Okay, so third argument is also same, like we want just the name, right? So we will use the same thing again. Collectors dot mapping, and employee, we want to use the method referencing to get the name only, right? And we want it back in the form of a list. So collectors dot to list. Okay. So now we will talk about the second argument. So we know second argument was the supplier function interface, right? So this supplier function interface, it does not take any input, but it returns you an output, right? So here, what we want it in to be the order, right? So we know the order can be returned by the tree map. So here we are going to use the lambda expression of this supplier. Okay, so we want to return it into the tree map, right? Tree map. Okay, so now this is how we are going to use. We are going to return in tree map. So tree map, the key is integer because it's sorting in, it's grouping by based upon the age. Okay, value is going to be the list of string because we just need the name, list of string. Okay, group by some argument, I'm giving argument name, group by age order. Okay, now we will print it. Okay, now let's try to run the program. Yeah, if you see, it's in the order, right? 28, 29, 30, 31. So this was the functionality of using this third overloaded method. Okay, so in this video, this much only. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.